You don't know what you've got until it's gone. I was having a discussion with one of my guys, well, today, to be honest, and he was talking about, and he's like, I never realized how much of a difference working out and that kind of stuff has on your day-to-day. He's like, life's just got chaotic recently. It's just the reality of it. And so I haven't been getting my walks in first thing in the morning, which is how I started my day. Get up early. He's got 4 kids, busy fucking man, full-time job, all that kind of stuff. So he gets up extra early, goes, smashes out his walk, feels fantastic. Day starts off on the right foot. He's kicking goals, all that kind of stuff. Due to some family crises, that hasn't been an option for him at the moment. He's still getting the work done. It's just happening at different times. And he's like, I cannot fathom how much of a difference it has made when I don't do it first thing in the morning, and how shit my day goes until I get it done. This is one of those ones where, exercise, especially done correctly, is the greatest drug you could ever take. Like, it just is. And it's one I saw ages ago, and I still remember it. They're like, the most abused drug in the world is food, and the most underutilized drug in the world is exercise. Exercise is a game changer. Like, in every fucking aspect of your life. Not just physique, but energy, happiness, confidence, how your day flows, how you structure out your life, all this kind of stuff. You want to know the reason why exercise, but specifically deadlifts, is phenomenally better, like scientifically proven better than all antidepressants? It's because not only does it release endorphins, makes you feel fucking good, lifts your day, but it increases your capacity to release those hormones. It literally increases your capacity for joy. Think about that as a fucking concept. How wild is that? That exercising, especially deadlifting or lifting heavy weights, not only makes you happier, not only makes you feel better, not only gives you more energy and focus and drive and clears brain fog and all this kind of stuff, but literally increases your capacity for happiness. Like, when you lay it all out there, it becomes a no fucking brainer that we should all be exercising every single day. We should be doing stuff every single day to push forward, to feel good, to connect ourselves to our bodies and how we should function. All these kinds of things. It should be a non-negotiable that this is what's happening. So it just becomes one of those things. But as I said, you don't know what you have until it's gone. It's not until you don't exercise regularly, that you don't do those things, that you realize how much of a positive impact it was having on your life, how much of a benefit you were gaining from doing this. The example I always love to give, and I got this from a chiropractor friend of mine, and he said, the biggest problem I find with patients is that if you ask them to rate themselves on a scale of 1 to 10, the majority of people are going to say somewhere between 6 to an 8, usually a 7. The problem with this is that it's based on their current life experience and their current concept of where they are in the world, right? And he's like, the problem is that they feel like that's the truth, but the reality is they're usually between a 1 and a 3. They don't know how dysfunctional their body is. They don't know how far off feeling good they are. They just go, well, I have this vague memory that I used to feel like this, and I feel like a little bit down from that, therefore this is where I'm at. When in reality, they're so far off that, what they're talking about and describing was probably a 4, maybe at a stretch of 5. And they have no idea how good they should feel, how good they could feel with changes to their lifestyle, with changes to their habits and how they show the fuck up. They could be in a different world, like a whole different world, and body feeling fucking amazing just from making different choices. And this is one of those gaps that, as I said, you don't know what you've got till it's gone. You don't know that, well, it's been so long. You don't know that you're missing out on this. You don't know that you don't feel good. It's a discussion I have with my wife after, and it goes to highlight this point, but it seems to happen after every time I have one of my free days, when we eat and drink whatever we want on those days. As noted, it is the planned one. I plan it out, and they're usually special events. So yeah, there usually is alcohol involved. And I'll wake up the next day and I'm like, fuck me. You know, I feel like I've been hit by a 10-ton of bricks. Run over by a Mack truck. How do people do this every single day? Well, because they don't know any different. That's how. They don't know that they feel bad. They don't know that they shouldn't feel like this. They don't know that this isn't the normal. Same with, like, you know, when I pulled my back. I got taken out in a basketball game and pulled my back for 4 days. I was like, how do people function like this? Because that just becomes their normal. They don't consider that they shouldn't feel like that. They don't consider that it should be different to this. That's just their life. So the gap isn't that, you know, that 1 to 2 extra points of feeling better. The gap is usually 10, because you don't know how far off you are from feeling it. Because it's been so long since you've lost it that you don't, well, recognize what good should feel like anymore. And the same goes for going in the positive direction. We get so readily accustomed to what we're doing. And it's why when I talk about 126 and the different phases, that we talk about continuing to progress forward and not settling for where we're at. Because you can get comfortable and backslide really, really fucking quickly. I'm approaching a year of doing 126 to greatness. A full fucking year. 365 days of this shit. I was like, oh, wonder what the photos look like. Oh my God. I went back to day 1. Not only was I disgusted and ashamed of myself that I'd previously let myself get to that situation. Like, I could not believe that I'd let myself get so bad. But on the flip side, couldn't believe how far I'd come. Holy fuck. I didn't recognize the man in the first photo. I didn't. And so I went through and did comparisons on every 3 months of it. And because I look at myself every day, because I take photos every single day, because of, well, and you're going to do it too, you're just constantly in it with yourself, you don't recognize the changes that have transpired. You can't see them because, well, you're constantly seeing it. And so it's these tiny little micro changes. So you can't see the difference as they transpire. And I could not believe the difference that had been made. Not just in fat, because I was fucking fat, but body composition over the different phases, how much muscle mass had come on, the shape of my muscles, the density of them, how I showed up, the look in my face, how my face was, all these kinds of things. I was like, wow. But in the moment, I look in the mirror and I go, oh, well, I'm still not happy with that. I'm still not where I want to be. And I've had ups and downs, and I've had setbacks and made less than perfect choices in some areas, and I know that's held me back, down to things like sleep or, you know, trying to find loopholes in the eating plan or things like this that have held me back from truly reaching my potential on this. And that's part of the journey as well. Part of the journey is overcoming these for consistency. Part of the journey is still pushing forward, because it's not going to be a linear path. But I looked at the man in the mirror and was like, oh, what the fuck? Still not there. Still criticizing. Still not satisfied. And I don't think there's anything wrong with that. And I don't want to lose that, because I don't want to get comfortable and let it backslide. I don't want to get comfortable and be like, well, this is good. It's like we discussed the other day. Good enough. Never should be fucking uttered. Good enough is not acceptable. That's how you let it slide. That's how you end up, looking in the mirror one day and going, how the fuck did I get back here? Well, you kept saying good enough, acceptable, it was all right. No, you have to keep driving forward, but hold two separate ideas at once. And that separate idea is the first one of being like, fuck, look how good I have done. Look at how fucking far I have come on this. Because, as I said, I don't recognize that man from day one. I do not recognize him. Thank fuck for that, do I not recognize him. But I was shocked at A, how bad it had gotten. How bad I'd let it get. And B, how far I had come. As I said, that's part of why I take the photos daily. So I have this full record. I'm going to have 365 days of me in this progression as I went through this process. And I'm a different man to who I was. And I knew that in principle. I did. I knew it in principle. But to see it in black and white like that is just... fuck, it makes a difference. Fuck, it makes you step back and go, oh, I did that shit. Look what I achieved. Look what I was capable of by doing that. Look who I can become by doing that. Now I can double down. If I could do that, now how much further can I take this? Now how much further can I take this process? And we've just got to keep pushing. But positively and negatively, we don't know what we have until it's gone. We don't know where we are until it changes. And it's why we need to be able to look at it objectively and keep redefining it. And that's why we need to track things. It's why in the progressive overload, we need to make sure that we know where we started and continue to progress that forward. We need to know how far our weighted walks were with how much weight and how much we're doing now. We need to know where the weights were and how much stronger we've gotten. We need to know where our physique was and how much further we have taken it. We need to be able to track these things so that we can properly look at them and go, wow, I did that. I made that happen. And so that you start ingraining it into who you are and you don't let good enough or comfortability or anything like that settle in so that it starts to slip away, so that it doesn't get to that point. Because like all things, all changes, good or otherwise, start with the micro decisions. They start with the little things. And we discussed the other day, ironically enough, it's easier to do the work in the beginning. Don't get me wrong, it's hard to fucking start. It's hard to actually take that first step and commit to doing something massive like this. It is really difficult to make that first decision. But once you're fucking in it, once you're in the trenches and you're doing the work, it's actually much, much easier. Because, well, the pain that has driven you to change, that rock bottom that you are bouncing out of to do this kind of work, is really evident. It's right there in your fucking face. It's showing you exactly where you are and why you are changing. And you have this consistent reminder of why you must change, of why you must do the work. That keeps it high. Once you reach where you want to end up, once you've reached some form of success, and that pain isn't that high, but the pain of sacrifice to do the work is still high, because it always will be. You then start having different conversations with yourself about what's worth it. And that's a dangerous game. That's a damn dangerous game. Because if you start having the questions about, well, how much of it is worth it, you've lost the game. If you start questioning whether it's worth the sacrifice, you've lost sight of why this matters. You need to get back to it, because you don't want to get to the point of you don't know what you've lost till it's gone. You don't know how good you had it until it's gone. You don't know how blessed and empowered you were until it's fucking gone. So make sure you don't let it get gone. Make sure you don't let it slip away with thoughts of good enough, with getting comfortable, with that's all right, I've done enough. No. Double down, redefine, find new goals, find new challenges, find new ways to do shit so that you continue to move forward. Find something that's going to push you way, way outside your fucking comfort zone. Because like the one I have at the moment is, I keep thinking about it, and I think much to my chagrin, I'm going to end up doing it at some point, that I'm probably going to undertake an endurance race at some point. Why? Because I fucking hate running. Oof. I have had a vendetta against running for a long ass time. But I need a challenge. And so what's more challenging? What's going to push me more outside my comfort zone than doing the thing that I fucking despise? I hate running. I ran enough during my college basketball career. Like, I had enough of that shit. And yet here I am, and I keep looking at it, and I keep looking at the people who do it, and the people I aspire to be like. And, you know, they're hard men, and they are dedicated men, and they are committed men. And I'm like, there is something in long distance endurance running. There is something primal in it that pushes you outside your comfort zone. So to make sure I don't reach that point of getting too comfortable, to make sure I don't reach the point of settling, of saying good enough, to keep pushing me outside of my comfort zone, well, I might need to take on a challenge that makes me deeply, deeply fucking uncomfortable. And, you know, push back on my notions and do something that is, well, beyond my skill set, and see who I can become from fucking doing that work. But I don't want to let it ever slip away. I don't want to reach a point where I've lost touch with it all. Where, well, I got comfortable and I ended up uttering those words of you don't know what you've got till it's gone. I don't want to let it slip away. I've worked too damn hard to get to this point. And I think you have too. I think you don't know how good you have it until it's gone. But now is the time to find out how good you can have it again. Find out, now that you're in the hurt locker, to start pushing through that pain, to start sacrificing those things that don't serve you, to push into being the best version of yourself, to see who you could become on the other side of all that. Because, well, you can and you should. So I think it's that time. I think it's time we start doing that. So if you are ready for that, if you're ready to see who you could become on the other side of that, shoot me a message. Let's get you into chasing greatness daily. Let's start that journey now. Now, as always, if you're not quite ready, click my link in my bio, grab my top 10 tools to transform your mental toughness. And lastly, as always, if you found value in this, if you enjoyed it, if it spoke to you, if you know someone else who needs to hear this, please like, comment, subscribe, and share. But most importantly, hit that subscribe button. I implore you, please hit that subscribe button. It helps me, it helps you, it helps the algorithm know that this is something worth listening to. So hit that subscribe button, because like everything in Chasing Greatness Daily, I am here every single day, no matter what. Rain, hail, and shine, sleep deprived or not. I am here delivering content, sharing from the front, sharing from the stories, sharing from my experiences and the experience of my guys, so that you can get the benefit from it. So hit the subscribe button so you don't miss a single one, because I will be back again tomorrow, and I look forward to seeing you then.